Days or your kids' tuition, it's important to have a budget. Even more important is having a budget that will actually work for you. That's why certified financial planner Christina Pinto from MPC Wealth Management is here to help us. Welcome.
Thank you, Rachel.
Where do we start when it comes to budgeting?
Well, first of all, most folks don't even take the time to set aside and create a budget. Whether they're just too busy or don't see the value in it, they just don't take the time to do it. And that's evident in personal bankruptcies in the U.S. are at an all-time high today.
All right, take us through the process of budgeting.
Well, as you know, the web is our friend, and you can find any type of template or worksheet that will help you get started. Listing your income, all of your income, listing your expenses, whether it's the obvious ones or the not so obvious ones.
What are some of the not so obvious?
Well, your trips to Starbucks and maybe some beauty salon and some lunches here and there that you don't really think about as a monthly expense.
At the end of the month, so once we have our budget, how do we adjust it then for the following month to make sure we're actually sticking to it?
And one step back is pay yourself first. I'm a big believer in that because that's how you accumulate wealth over time. After you do that, you're going to obviously the add and subtract, and hopefully at the end there is money left over.
That's the goal, right?
So unfortunately, if the answer is no, you do have to go back and make some adjustments. You know, look at your expenses and really take a look at what you're spending, and it's amazing what happens when you start writing them down.
You can really see, oh my gosh, I can't believe I spent all this money at, the grocery store or, at the mall.
Exactly.
And then when we're filling out the budget list for our expenses, what's one of the biggest mistakes people make?
Well, I think, Rachel, is first of all not creating one, not having one, and not personalizing it. Because if you don't set aside money to do those things you enjoy doing, you're going to be frustrated. And if you're frustrated, it's not going to work. And there's no reason to have it then.
You were talking about 3 different questions you should ask when you're shopping to help save money. What are those 3 questions?
Well, I think it goes back to if the answer was no and you're basically upside down at the end of the month, then the adjustments have to be made. Ask yourself, first of all, do you need it? Do you really need this item? Typically, you're going to answer yes. And then, can you live without it? Again, it's probably no.
No.
And if that comes to the 3rd question is, can you substitute it? And by substituting, a lot of times you're able to save some money, whether it's temporary or sometimes it becomes something that's permanent.
Those are really good tips. And you could probably apply those to if you're planning a special occasion or a trip, right?
Absolutely. And to do that, Rachel, you want to incorporate that special trip or whatever it is that you're trying to plan for. Hopefully you have some time to do it and work backwards. Remember, anytime we break down a goal, it becomes more manageable and therefore attainable. And at the end of the day, you're going to be happier you were able to do that.
And you can go on that trip, just cut a couple lunches out with the girls, and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Christina. You can find her tips and a budgeting form on our website, lifeloveshopping.com.